Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Randall. This is the McClures. We react, we review, we make fun of, we laugh at stuff over here. We're sponsored by McClures.store. Put a www in front. Check us out. We sell quality American products. Help your country. Help support the channel. See if we got anything that you need or want. We are live on Rumble. Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:30 to 5:30. Rumble.com/McClures. Come hang out with us there. And we're going to be getting into a Savannah Hernandez video today. If you don't know who she is, she's a ground reporter. She's everywhere. She's everywhere. She's breaking all kinds of stories for years now. So this is International Women's Day, but no one knows what a woman is. Okay. So a little play on Matt Walsh's video, What is a Woman? She's going to go around and see if any of the feminists can tell her. I can almost guarantee you they will not be able to.
Women's Day 2023, so we are here at UT Austin to ask the ladies what it means to be a woman in the modern day, and also if they would feel comfortable sharing their spaces with trans women. Let's go find out. What is it like being a woman in modern day America for you?
There definitely is some like setbacks and challenges, especially like I'm queer, and so I have some like just problems with that, like in like a religious standpoint.
There's still a lot of struggles that women have to like go.
Okay, so she struggles being a woman because she's queer and no religions are pro-queer? Is that what she just said? That is literally the dumbest shit I've ever heard. But we're going to keep going, so I'm sure somebody will beat it.
Go through just for the, I guess, the way that they were born, I guess. Especially if you take into account like trans femme people and like stuff like that. So
I'm actually just working on a project right now. I'm an RTF major, and we just...
You can literally see her brain churning and churning and churning, trying to line up her point to make sense because they're not logical at all.
Actually just made a short film about women's experiences, like just existing in the world. It's called You Should Smile More, and we actually did a whole bit about like how it is to just like exist around like kind of just the kind of entitlement of men and how they make people feel uncomfortable and just like in everyday situations and how that affects women in like their day-to-day lives.
What are some of those things that men do that make women feel uncomfortable?
Well, for example, in the film, like the title of the film is You Should Smile More. Just these like kind of offhanded sort of like backhanded compliments almost, where it's like it's inherently threatening and telling them like, you know, like you're only valuable because you're pretty, and like they kind of the tone that they use in sort of situations.
I actually identify as non-binary, but
Does anybody know what that girl just said? Can anybody clear that up for me? I have no clue what Fatty was talking about. Alright, let's see what the non-binary retard has to say.
have like still identify as a mostly feminine person.
You're gender fluid. Talk to us about, I guess, the modern day version of what being a woman is.
I don't know. I mean, I'm only realized some more gender stuff about myself recently, like in the past few months or so, because before then I identified as a man most of my life, so I'm still trying to figure things out.
So what are your pronouns? Talk to us.
Oh, look at this guy. Look at this guy. I'm not really sure because only in the last couple months did I get confused about if I'm a boy or a girl. Oh gosh, people.
A little bit about your gender identity.
Pronouns, I guess right now I'm kind of vague about because I'm not out to like literally like everyone in existence, just kind of certain social spheres. But I guess like any at this point.
Any gender?
Yeah.
So like they, them, she, her, it, he, him.
Yeah.
You go with anything?
Yeah, I go with anything.
So gender and sexuality is something that has been brought to the forefront a lot for Women's History Month, International Women's Day. Some women saying that trans women shouldn't be platformed because they're really biological men, especially for Women's History Month. What is your viewpoint on that in the modern day?
I think trans women are women because biological gender is different, or sorry, biological sex is different from gender. So however you choose to present yourself, you are a woman. If you don't even have to have like any sort of gender affirmation surgery.
I think if anyone wants to be a woman, they can. I think just because a trans woman is a woman, and I do think we should platform that. They are women.
It's interesting.
Do these women not know they're literally putting themselves down, right? Saying that women have no inherent value or uniqueness and just anybody could be one. This is crazy. Oh, shit.
With like biological men going into like becoming a biological woman, and people have an issue with that because at the end of the day they're a woman, you know, like you've become a woman, so now you are in that camp. So I could see why someone might have like issues like, oh, that's not a real woman, but I think that's kind of them not being able to accept the fact that that person has made that choice to become a woman.
Do you guys view trans women and biological women the same?
No.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Yeah.
Yes, you know, it's like yes. It's like a yes
that's
and
a trick
no
question, but
Yeah.
it's like that's a great question.
It's not a trick question. The answer is no, because you are not going to marry a tranny. You're not bringing a tranny home to meet your dad. No, it ain't happening. You're not treating him the same. Stop lying.
It really is
For
a good
conversation.
Well, I mean, I think like the fact that like it's not just it's trans women and biological women kind of already inherently is saying they're different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you know it's like do you view a woman as the same? Even if that question, the answer would be no, because all women are different. You know, like Rihanna and Beyonce different. Same way, you know, like Caitlyn Jenner and like I'm and
Do you think
and
Beyonce and Caitlyn Jenner are similar? Like,
I
would
think
you
they're
put them on? Yeah, like.
Yeah, they're both women.
In the place of the arts, it's like there's really no room for judgment because like we do like animal work, like we'll crawl on the ground like dogs or like squirrels, and then that like you know, being a squirrel you can like transition to like being like this like sort of crackhead where you have like this like tick, and it's like I know I'm getting there, but it's like. You know, you're laughing at that, but it's like we have no room to judge because then like some of the best actors out there doing like Robin Williams and Mrs. Doubtfire. You know,
So would you say that a man transitioning to being a woman is the same as an actor pretending to be a squirrel?
See, that's just a crazy ass question.
You said you were getting
well,
there.
what I'm getting at is like the not the embarrassment, the judgment on other people of like, you know, this is just that's what I do. Now, you might not necessarily do squirrel work, but I'll do it because that furthers like my life and my career and everything. And if you know, transitioning furthers somebody else's life in the way that they want to, then like that's just what they got to do, you know.
Do you view biological women and trans women the same way?
Oh no. I mean, yes and no. I mean, I think they should be labeled the same, but I think people should acknowledge that trans women and cis women have different experiences.
I mean, I think if that's what they identify as, then today is a day for them.
Do you think that we should be focused in more on transgender women's voices now in the modern day society and trying to uplift them more than, let's say, other groups of women in the space? What are your thoughts?
Yes, in a way, because they do go through more.
And it's nice to get validated in your identity and stuff.
Trans women are, oppressed and stuff. I think they deserve, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
They deserve a voice. They deserve to have the right to identify the way that they see themselves as.
I think trans women of color should be uplifted the most just because they have the most oppression facing them.
Every time I watch one of these videos where they interview all these liberal girls, it's just there's a clear difference between what a liberal woman looks like and what a conservative looks like. It's crazy.
And talk to me too a little bit about that. What are some of those oppressive things that they're facing?
It could just be like small, everyday microaggressions, or even as far as someone going and assaulting them on the street.
And it's all intersectionality, so they deal with just more than one thing. They're a trans woman, they might be a person of color, they might be part of the LGBTQ plus community. A lot of things overlap, and it's hard to a lot of things affect them. It's not just one thing.
I guess assigned female at birth person, you just generally have a lot.
As an assigned female at birth person? It's not an assignment. They didn't pick it. You weren't graded on how boy or a girl you were.
More hardships just from like the way you were born, but I do think like trans femme people, it's kind of dangerous to be a trans femme person. It always has been. There's a lot of violence that trans femme people, trans women like specifically face.
I hate the way that the United States and law and policy are so focused on changing or just bothering the trans community. And I feel like that should be, it should obviously be.
All right, this girl is going to wake up very soon. She's too good looking to be a liberal. So she'll become a conservative very shortly here.
Be a part of law in terms of giving them the freedom that they want. But other than that, I feel like that should not be a subject to talk about unless you are a part of the community or it has something to do with you, because you don't truly know how it feels to be trans. Unless you're supporting, then I feel like it should not be talked about.
So I think one of the reasons why it is because, like, for women's sports, for example, right, we do have some people like Leah Thomas, who is a biological male, that went and swam with the women, obviously took first place. Leah Thomas, broader shoulders, was just bigger in general. So in terms of women's, sports, or even sometimes women's locker rooms, like young girls are being exposed to trans women who still have male genitalia. So these are kind of little kids that are seeing that. I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
That's a good question. When it comes to the locker room, I feel like if these people if the trans community, if they feel like they are the opposite sex, like a female or a male, then they should be able to go into the locker room or whatnot because they truly feel like they are female. So 9 times out of 10, I can't speak for everyone, but they're not trying to mess with the opposite sex if they feel like they are that sex. Like if they're a female going into a female locker room, then they're not going to want to mess with the females because they now are a female. But
even if they still have a penis, though, like, do you think that, again, exposing a child to male genitalia just because that person feels female is a good thing for society?
Well, I feel like you're not going to expose your genitalia in a locker room. I know for me, you just get changed and stuff. So in terms of like exposing yourself in a locker room, I feel like that is not an issue. But if people are afraid that the trans person is going to mess with the female in the locker room, that's what I'm saying. I feel like it's not an issue either, because if they identify as female, then they're not going to try to mess with these females.
Really, anyone can be dangerous.
But do you think little kids should be seeing this type of thing?
I mean, well, kids shouldn't be seeing genitalia in general. I think, if a woman like goes into a bathroom and is like showing off their like genitals or whatever, that's just like.
All right, so their whole point of you don't see genitals in a locker room is just crazy. I mean, maybe like the high school locker room, everybody quick changes real quick. I get it. But when I used to go visit my father every summer in Texas, I would go stay with my aunt in Houston and go to their, what do rich people go to? Country club. We'd go to their country club or to their private gym. Not private as in just theirs, but a gym that they went to. And you see a lot of dick at a gym and a locker room. Everybody's changing. They walk naked to and from the showers. They go to the sauna. So, yeah. There's no exposing of genitalia in locker rooms is absolutely just a stupid statement.
Like a sexual predator. Like, they just need to be in jail.
For example, in my gym, women will walk around and they'll get naked changing because, we're all biologically the same there. So that's kind of the situation that some people are in. There are children there. But I guess, like I said, in the instance of it being a trans female, like, what are your thoughts on, I guess, children seeing that?
I don't know. I think it's that is interesting thing to think about. I just think like I don't know. It is like kind of a weird situation. I do think for the safety of like a lot of trans people, there should be a lot more gender like neutral spaces.
Right. So more options would probably be the answer.
Yeah, I think so, because it really is like, especially if you're thinking of like a trans woman, if they go into like the men's locker room, they're like a target for like harassment and violence. But if they go into a women's like locker room, a lot of women are uncomfortable, and that's just like the reality of it.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Trans women are women, just like I'm a woman. I'm a cisgender woman, but just as much as I'm a woman, so are trans women. So they deserve every right that I have.
No.
I like don't even care. I don't notice anything. Like,
I don't know what Eyebrows is talking about over here. But if you have a dick, you can't be a woman. Okay?
I don't see it as a problem, and I think that if they're comfortable being in the women's bathroom, then go to the women's bathroom.
Because they are women.
Yeah.
What would you say to the parents who think, like, oh, I don't want my daughter around a trans woman in a bathroom? Like, what are your thoughts on that type of mentality in the modern day?
I feel like they're not as educated as well. When parents usually say that, it's really coming from like an ignorant place because they're not understanding that they are women. I know they might have been born a male or whatever, but they are women. If they identify as a woman, they are a woman. And I get like they don't want like something bad to happen in the bathroom because their genitalia might not, sex and gender are two different things, so their sex and gender might not match, but I think it's just...
The question she's asking is it appropriate for 8-year-olds to be seeing flopping cocks in the locker room when they're only supposed to be seeing bouncing boobs? This is the question.
Ignorance, yeah.
I agree with what she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would absolutely be okay sharing a space with trans women, and the fact that parents think that is kind of awful.
I'm totally for uplifting trans women. I think trans women are women, and I think we have a lot more things to worry about than trans women coming into the bathroom.
I don't see really a problem.
I think honestly men are the problem in that point, because I don't think if there is a large majority of people being predatory in women's restrooms, it is men. It is not people who identify as female with male genitalia.
I definitely think trans women should be included in women's spaces. I mean, they're women, obviously, so they face a lot of the same issues that cis women do as well in terms of like misogyny.
This guy's just trying to get into the girl's bathroom, bro. That's crazy.
Do you say that you would be equal to me then if you decided to be a woman? Then would we be the same?
Well, what do you mean? What do you mean by the same?
Like, if a man decided to identify as a woman, at that point, does he then become a woman? Like, what are your thoughts on how all that works?
I mean, well, it's complicated because this is like a social phenomenon, right? Because there's presenting as a woman, there's people interpreting you as a woman, there's also what you feel like internally, whether you feel like a woman or not. They're all kind of intermingled and different. That's very complex.
That's kind of the whole point,
I think in
though.
terms of like identity.
That's kind of the whole point with the whole movement, is you have to agree with me on how I feel about myself. That's the problem with it. We don't see you as a woman. We're not going to call you a woman because I don't see you as a woman and you're not a woman. You can do whatever you want in the mirror, bro.
If they identify as a woman, then yeah, that's it. They're just a woman, right? So in terms of being the same, I mean, like...
I could identify as a 55 Chevy. I'm still not going to win a car show. You know what I mean? Even though I really, really feel like a 55 Chevy, I will never win the car show.
While they're still women, they
Do you
have
think
to
that
deal with...
trans women face maybe more oppression or
Yes.
issues than regular women?
Yes, absolutely. Like, And I think right now in the current climate, I would say yes, more oppression for sure.
Right. So in the current climate where everybody, including the president's talking about transgender rights, they're more oppressed than ever. This is just lunacy. This is absolutely crazy. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Yeah, this is just absolutely crazy. The whole issue should not be an issue. I'm with Michael Knowles in the statement that he made at CPAC. We don't need to play along with this bullshit. We don't need to pretend it's real. Yeah. We need to stop going along with it. Stop indulging. We just need to stop. We got to stop. All right, guys. I appreciate you stopping by. McClures.store is the website if you want to help support the channel. Links down in the description. We are live on Rumble Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from 3:30 to 5:30. Excuse me, 3:30 to 5:30. Make sure you come hang out with us. Yeah, let me know what you think. That was an interesting one. Later, bye.